Why Humans Avoid War, Chapter 26. Eula Point of View. Were the humans actually getting a reward for the genocide of an entire species? The Federation might as well remove the words peace and equality from its mission statement if the speaker was putting those savages in charge of the military. An abominable race like theirs did not belong in positions of power, and it never would have happened under my leadership. I had done everything I could to expose their nature, and just when I thought I was getting somewhere, the narrative shifted. The humans framed me as the villain, and the Federation bought it hook, line, and sinker. One moment, I was their beloved speaker, champion of democracy, protector of the innocent. The next, they kicked me to the curb, all on the basis of a few unsavory memos from a year ago. Where had I gone wrong? Was there anything I could have done differently? There would be plenty of time to think after I cleared out my office. I rummaged through the final drawer of my desk, searching for anything worth bringing home. Beneath a stack of documents, there was a single framed photo. It was turned upside down and covered by a thick coating of dust. This picture clearly hadn't been touched in years. Curiosity sparked in my chest, and I flipped it over. A younger version of myself was standing side by side with Ambassador Johnson, holding a document. I remembered that day. We had been at the signing of a war crimes treaty, which the humans sponsored. They said they wanted to mitigate suffering, and they had seemed so genuine in their commitment to peace. At the time, I wanted to be just like them. A growl rumbled in my chest. I hurled the picture to the floor. The frame shattered, sending shards of glass everywhere. Careful. You wouldn't want to step on that while you're leaving this office. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. For the last time at that. A curse escaped my lips as I glanced behind me and saw Ambassador Johnson leaning against the doorframe. She was the last person I wanted to speak to. I had no idea how long she had been there, but her smirk suggested she had seen enough. Come to gloat? You got what you wanted, just leave me be, I spat. The human disappeared, and for a brief moment, I thought she might actually leave me alone. Instead, she returned with a broom and a dustpan and began mopping up the glass shards. I clenched my teeth, repulsed by her proximity. You and your filthy species ruined everything. My life, my government, my job. It's not that bad. Lots of positions out there to fill, she chirped. You know, I heard they're hiring at Galaxy Mart. I could see it, you in a nice green vest stocking shelves. The look would really suit you. Oh, fuck off. Get out of here, I screeched. Ambassador Johnson snickered and then, at last, departed from my office. I picked up my box off the floor and looked around the room a final time. This was supposed to be my life, but somehow, it had been taken away. It didn't matter, though. I would earn back the fickle citizens' support by spreading the truth about the humans to anyone who would listen. Maybe I could make a blog, or float around as a guest on the talk shows, whatever it took to get the message across. There was a knock on the door, and my skin prickled with annoyance. That was a human gesture to request entry, which meant Ambassador Johnson had come back. Wonderful. Stupid human. You've had enough fun. I'm on my way now, I muttered. A male voice, cold as ice, answered back. I'm not human, and you're not going anywhere. Something smooth and metallic pressed into the back of my neck, which felt like a gun. Fear surged through my body as it dawned on me what was happening. The humans had sent an assassin after me, hadn't they? I couldn't say I was surprised, but I couldn't fathom why he didn't just pull the trigger. I turned to face my assailant with slow, non-threatening movements. To my surprise, he was telling the truth. He wasn't human. I didn't recognize his species either. There were no flat-nosed, purple-skinned bipeds on the Federation's registry, to the best of my knowledge. "Who are you?" I stammered. The strange man nodded toward my desk chair. "Why don't you take a seat?" I inched back, following his instructions. "We should talk about this. Whatever the humans paid you, I can give you more. Double, even." "The humans have nothing to do with this. I'm here because everything I've ever known, everyone I've cared about is gone. You have no idea what true pain is. Look, if you're depressed, there are ways to get help. You don't have to hurt me. You don't have to hurt anyone, okay?" That's where you're wrong. I'm the last survivor of my species. Someone has to pay for that. Something clicked in my head, although it sounded ludicrous. How could anyone have survived a supernova? "You're a devourer," I whispered. His facial muscles twitched. "I don't like that word. My name is Byam." "Okay then, Byam, listen to me. The humans were set on genocide from the beginning. There was nothing I could do." I forced a sympathetic expression onto my face. It was difficult to think with a gun pointed at my head, but I knew I needed to redirect his anger. "Commander Rykov is the one you want. He is here, in the building. He killed your people, not me." "No. I needed to understand why this had happened, and it all leads back to you. Rykov tried to rescue us, but you sabotaged the stealth ships. In fact, with your sabotage, you tried to force the humans to kill us," he said, voice shaking with anger. "They could have finished evacuating my planet if they didn't need a detour to deal with you. If you didn't start a civil war, and if they didn't need to repair the ship after, ultimately, you are responsible. It wasn't like that. You don't understand. I needed them to slip up so the entire universe could see their true face in all of its ugliness. The humans have been conning the galaxy for centuries while they plot and build up an arsenal to kill us all. It was a calculated risk to save the Federation from an evil you can't fathom." "A calculated risk? Is a planetary extinction event some minor sacrifice to you? You are the evil one. You don't deserve the nitrogen you breathe. Say goodbye to your miserable existence." It seemed that talking Byam down was out of the question. The Devourer had a crazed look on his face. His veins were about ready to pop out of his neck. His finger was hovering over the trigger as he tried to hold the gun steady. I wanted to call for help, but he would take me out as soon as I reached for my holopad. Barring a miracle, this seemed like it would be the end. The door swung open, and Ambassador Johnson waltzed in, looking at a piece of paper. "Eula, old pal. I had some time on my hands, so I drafted up a resume for you. Take a look." The human glanced up, and the color drained from her face as she spotted the gun. I wasn't sure whether to beg for help, or to talk Byam into shooting her instead. "Leave, now. This has nothing to do with you," he hissed. Johnson raised her hands in a placating gesture. "I've read about you in the mission reports. Byam, right? Put the gun down. You don't want to do this." "Yes, I do. I want this vermin dead." A tear rolled down his cheek, and he quickly wiped it away. "I tried to save my people, and I failed. Vengeance is all that's left." "It's not your fault. Please don't let your pain and your hatred define you, Byam. You're better than that. Revenge won't help in the long run." "I don't care if it helps. Why should she live when millions will never see another day because of her? How is that fair?" "It's not. People like Eula are terrible. Believe me, I agree with you. But if we stoop to their level, they win." I'm too petty to let them win. That's where we differ, human. I'm more than happy to let Eula have her victory. The Devourer checked the sights a final time, grinning at me. Byam was about to dampen the trigger when Ambassador Johnson lunged at him, grabbing his dominant arm. She tugged it down as the gun went off, blasting a hole in the floor. The duo tumbled to the ground, wrestling for control of the firearm. My mind was reeling as I stared at the skirmish. Why would the Ambassador try to help? This was her chance to get rid of me, without any blood on the hands of the Terran government. Humans were supposed to enjoy carnage anyways. There was no reason for her to put herself in the line of fire for a sworn enemy. Ambassador Johnson twisted at his wrist, trying to loosen his grip on the gun. Byam reached out with his free arm and picked up a stray shard of glass from the floor. With a swift motion, he jabbed it into her thigh. The human yelped in pain, and her lapse in concentration allowed the Devourer to break free. He shrugged off her grasp and began crawling away. The thought occurred to me to run or to join in the fray, but I was paralyzed. Something in my brain had shut off, and I couldn't flip it back on. Byam struggled to his feet, using the desk for support. He leveled the gun at Ambassador Johnson, who was nursing her wounded leg. Crimson blood had soaked through her navy blue pants, turning them purple. I didn't know much about human anatomy, but she must have been hit in some sort of blood vessel. "Stay down. I don't want to hurt you," he pleaded. The gun swiveled back toward me, and I steeled myself for the inevitable. There was no sense in begging for forgiveness from either of them, because I wasn't sorry. Sure, my methods hadn't been perfect, but I was the only one brave enough to stand up against those human wretches, to make sacrifices for the well-being of the Federation. There was a sharp pain in my forehead. I crumpled in my seat, watching as the world became fuzzy. It was all so grainy, so out of focus. I was dimly aware, in the recesses of my consciousness, of Byam running from the scene of the crime. My ears registered the words of Ambassador Johnson calling for help on her holopad, but I was too far gone to process anything but the cold sensation washing over my body. Nothingness overtook my senses, and I sank into the arms of the void. That would be the end of Why Humans Avoid War, Chapter 26. Whether you liked it or you didn't, leave a like or a dislike on the video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you're going to bed soon, then I wish you sweet dreams. If you've got a full day ahead of you, I hope it goes well. Ciao.